Okay, so I'm going to take that Hendrix major chord, the first one that's off this F shape here. So right now this is a G major chord with my thumb on the root. It could be this. It could be this. I could have that off. You can also do that same trick on the B string. And then you can also do the same thing on the G string. Anytime you have that, you can do the slide up and back on the B and high E. Right? So there's some cool stuff there. Then that exact same chord could have the A root, so G major up here. The inversion up here. Here's another thing that we want to add to it, and it's going to be the index finger on that root and just a little run. So boom, then the next whole step up, and then slide that up a whole step. So you have this little so I'm using index, ring, and then sliding with the ring. Okay, then you have this little box right here. And then you have the root, G, you know, where I was playing a G major chord. It's the major pentatonic scale. Now watch this. If you just play these top three strings right here, the E, A, and D string from that run, you have a low inversion that's related to, but now it's an octave lower. Check that out. Very similar. That A-rooted inversion works in the E zone. It's not used as much, but it's there. So watch, if I took a C major chord with its inversion, and that Hendrix major chord, and I'm going to go to a G chord, went up to a C major right here, and all those same tricks apply. They're not really tricks, they're actually musical devices. D, my thumb on D right there. Ah, sorry. Then down a whole step, which is C and G. You know, G, 1, 4, 5 in music. They always sound good together. So you want to get into the habit of seeing this chord and knowing that that's always connected to it. And then whenever you see this, it's always there. Including that and tricks that go along with that. So hang tight, and we're going to talk about some minor chords. All right, so now I'm going to talk about the minor chord, and we can call this the Hendrix minor. If you look at the guitar here, and I went to we're going to first focus on the E-rooted minor chord. So if I want to play an A minor chord, one of the first techniques is actually wrapping your thumb around that root. And that's how Hendrix would do it. And so you got your thumb on the root, the A string is muted by that thumb, and then the rest of that fret you're covering with your index finger. And that'd be called an A minor 7. Now if you look, I've got 3 fingers free to do tricks. Now look, if I go up to the 12th fret, you hear that. Just a down up with a little palm mute in between, you know, a little left hand mute in between. Okay, but that brings up this point here when we go back to this. The way I normally play that chord, which is not that really the Hendrix way, so I'm leaving that philosophy right now a little bit, is I actually put my middle finger on that root note, and then my middle finger mutes that A string, and then I use my ring finger to come across. Same chord. And I'm just more used to that. That's what I, grew up in my guitar journey, always playing the minor chord that way and not using my thumb a lot. But whichever way you want to practice and get good with, it's going to work. I find that is a little easier for me, but with the thumb holding that, then you can kind of let that ring out, and play licks over it, okay? But so the basic voicing, thumb across the root, and then index, A strings muted. Middle finger on the root, ring finger here. Okay, so in the next little module, I'm going to show you some other ways to springboard off of that first chord shape.